ISO 27001 Annex A 6.3 Information Security, Education, Awareness and Training. Right, there are a number of clauses that we've already gone through that cover a huge amount of this, right? But I'm going to work through what the requirements of this particular clause are, what this particular annex are, and then give you the tips and the pointers. Let's start off with the definition of what this wants. This wants personnel of the organisation and relevant interested parties should receive appropriate information security awareness, education, and training and regular updates of the organisation's information security policy, topic-specific policies, procedures as relevant to their job function. So there are a number of different things that you're going to do here. One of the ones that I recommend is you're going to go and get a training tool, a training package. It's one of the few places where I recommend that you get a tool. Again, dependent on the size that you are, a training package is going to be absolutely a life-saving, time-saving when it comes to the content, creation of content, distribution of content, verification that people have done it, chasing, checking, and the administration of training. There are many different tools that are out there on the market. Go and find the one that is the most appropriate to you. But what that tool should do, it should include training on information security topics that are relevant to you. Topics that are usually included in there are general information security training, and then modules on things like remote working, home working, phishing, ransomware, whatever it may be, whatever the risks that you've got. So go and get yourself a tool. That tool should include within it management support, things that support you from a management perspective. What does that mean? That means distributing that content, ensuring that that content is consumed, evidencing that that content was consumed, and then some kind of a verification of understanding, which in our terms normally means some kind of a quiz at the end of it. So the easiest and quickest way to do this one is to implement that, and within that tool there will be scheduling, right? There will be a scheduling aspect to that tool. What we're going to do is we're going to make sure that we train people before they join the organization, when they join the organization, and then annually. And some of those particular modules may be even more frequent than that. So have a think, reference back to your risk management, reference back to your statement of applicability and what controls you've got to understand what risks you're trying to mitigate, and then develop yourself a training program that meets those risks and addresses those risks directly. What is the bare minimum you need to do? The bare minimum that you need to do is information security training general and data protection training relevant to the jurisdiction, geography and locale where you are, right? They would be the two minimum ones that you need to do. What this is also referencing is the communication of policies, which we covered under the communication clause, right? We're going to distribute policies at various points, and we're going to continually educate people on where those policies are, specific to the role that they've got. So we want to make sure that they have accepted the policies, we've communicated them, we've made them available, and we're continuing on a periodic basis to tell them where they are and what their requirements are. Many different ways when it comes to training and awareness, you know, and it's going to be a combination. Again, we have touched on this. There are going to be technical implementations, like a technical implementation of a training tool, but there also may be things like classroom training. There may be webinars, online training. You know, you may include it as part of business operational meetings, strategy meetings, team meetings, company updates, annual updates, company away days. So whatever it is that you can do to address this, put that in place. Work alongside the communication clause and your communication plan, where you're evidencing that, you're evidencing of what you did and when you did it, so that you can show that to an auditor. But it's up to you to put that plan in place. So what should a training and awareness training include, right? So let's have a look at this. It should include processes and procedures around information security. So let's think. We've got leadership and management commitment to information security. It's a top-down standard after all. We want to communicate, we want to include in there requirements of laws and regulations, right? It's pointless just having a legal register that nobody knows about, only legal knows about it. People need to be made aware of what their requirements are, what their responsibilities are under the law and regulation. We're going to include in there about accountability, people's accountability, their own individual accountability, and their responsibility for information security. As part of communication and incident management, we talked about raising incidents and communicating to people how they raise incidents. So we're going to include that in there. We're regularly, periodically going to be telling people how they can raise a concern, an opportunity for improvement, but more specifically, how they can raise an incident if an incident has occurred. We are going to be telling people where policies are. We've just touched on that. And also we're going to be communicating, make people aware, training people on who in the organization, if people want to approach an individual to talk about anything to do with information security, who that person is. All of that, I would say, back up on your communication plan. Have a look at the clause on communication for more information that's around that. There is some guidance in the standard about when to do the training. We've just touched on it, but let me read through the list for you. Conduct annual awareness training in information security. Conduct annual awareness training in data protection. Conduct initial awareness training pre-employment or as part of the onboarding process. As things change or new things are introduced, make people aware and train them. In response to incidents and as part of a continual improvement, you may require additional training or awareness. So this isn't going to be a one and done, right? There are some considerations around when you want to be doing that. So training and awareness, you are looking to implement a culture of information security. This is more than just documents. It's more than just ticking a box. You know, please reference back to the other additional clauses that we've been through already on communication and awareness. This is really just wrapping them, but it doesn't hurt for me to have recapped them in this particular clause. Reach out to your legal department, as with the other people controls. Make sure what you're doing is legal. Reach out to your HR professional who should be driving this, and ideally you're just checking it, and make sure that you build a collaboration with those additional professionals so that you can be most effective when you are driving your training, your awareness, and your communication into your organization. My name is Stuart Barker. I am the ISO 27001 Ninja, the online guru for ISO 27001. And until the next tutorial, peace out.